back, everybody. Welcome back to Words with Wayman. I'm your host, as always, Matt Wayman. We are back for a special part 2 with Tony Z, everybody. I'm not even trying it. That's your artist name. It's Tim Fizz on Instagram, Tony Z with me. I took a shot on the first one and blew it. I'm not going down that road again and looking like that big of a chump. I want to thank you so much for coming back. I believe when we left off last time, we were talking about we gotten up right to the point where you were doing DJing and you were painting at the same time, and you were transitioning a little bit more into a art life, right?
Yeah, we were right at that.
I hope so. You're like, no, we were talking about.
That's it. We were there, and I was working in a restaurant. And
as everybody should.
Yeah. And I hurt my back. I herniated a disc, and I couldn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. Like that, anyways.
I hear it's one of the most painful things in the world too.
It was very painful. I couldn't walk for a few months, and got through it though. Had some awesome physical therapists and whatnot. But during that time, I wasn't working, and I had a lot of time to sit around on the couch and just, I didn't want to watch TV all day or anything. Reading was fine, but I needed something creative to do. And so
absolutely.
I started painting again. Kind of just set the color palette up on my chest and hold the piece of wood above my head and paint while laying down, and it was a lot simpler. But it was great. It was healing.
Yeah, that's right. I think you're exactly right what you said. You said I needed to do that.
I needed to do it, yeah. And when I was able to move about again and felt better, I started painting. I painted a lot, and I had a friend that we used to collaborate a little bit. We'd do little collages. And,
heck yeah.
We entered just a random show at an old gallery called Sliding Door here in Denver. And
nice.
It was take a thrift store painting and change it,
church it up a little bit, yeah.
So we did a couple, and it was a really fun show, and we sold a couple of our pieces, and
heck yeah.
It felt really cool. And
of course,
this is great. Somebody. We made a difference to somebody.
Yeah, it's one thing, especially with art too, to somebody that like it enough to be like, oh, I like that a lot, and it's something completely other to be like, I like this so much, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, it's great. It's really heartening in a way, and I always like to say I'm not in it for the money, but when I make a little money, it feels good sometimes.
Oh, it's just reassurance of all the time that you put in is actually paid off for that,
Yeah. And I also, I'd like to consider myself a professional, so I'd like to make money as well. It's not always like, oh my God, I made $5.
Yeah, no.
I need to eat, and just like everybody else, we're working. It's work.
It's a hustle. Yeah, that's the thing. It is a creative outlet, but it is work.
Yeah. It's really fun work. But
no, it's the best work. How do you come up with your ideas? Do you sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to come up with these ideas, or do you just let them come to you throughout the day and jot them down, or do you work on them?
Yeah, you never know when an idea will come. I try and carry a sketchbook with me. Of
course.
All the time, just in case. If not, there's always the coasters or the napkins.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. A lot of times I look at old sketchbooks and I'll just flip through, and something always catches my eye that I never expect, and it might become a painting.
You forgot you did, or
a lot of times I'll think of something while I'm making a painting. My mind will wander, and all of a sudden I'll have to stop to sketch down an idea, or just stop the painting altogether and start something else.
Oh yeah, I'm a big believer of the next idea is always better too. So it's that painting may be good, but it's like, but now I get a really good idea while I'm making this painting that could be better than the original one.
Right.
Of just like quality or pushing stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. I like to try and do as many studies as I feel is, something. The first one's not always the best. Sometimes you might think it is, but
yeah. So what is your work structure like? So do you wake up every day in the morning, you're like, Daddy's putting 5 hours in, or Or is it just one of those? Do you work?
It's like that. I wake up and eat some food, and then I get busy.
Nice.
For a few hours, and in a pretty typical day, work for a few hours, have some food, work
Yeah.
a few more hours.
I think I know for my writing, my brain's really soft in the morning. I feel like I get stuff in the morning that I don't get in the afternoon. I feel like, but they're both good.
Yeah, I'm more productive during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, unless it's a deadline or whatever,
Yeah.
I can be working all night long.
Got to put
if
the
need
work
be,
in. But the night time's for drinking, everybody. That's, that's how the Lord intended it. The night time when the sun goes down, pop bottles, y'all. No, I'm the same way. Like, I definitely don't like. I'm a lot more productive during the day. I feel like it feels better, and it's just if you put it off all day, then you got to work at night. It's just like it feels like it's a lot of pressure on it too for me. But
yeah, I feel pressured sometimes into work. It's hard for me personally to discipline myself to work every day. It's really hard.
yeah. It totally is, and that's what I feel like a lot of people that have been on here we've talked about. Like, it is tough, but because it is like work. It's like, yeah, everybody, we enjoy going to work. That is one thing that is the big separation of enjoying to go to work, but it's still work.
Yeah.
It's
you
clocking
gotta
in.
Put in some time and make it happen. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You
Yeah.
got to put the time in. Like you said, it's.
So you've been getting some gallery shows lately. I know you said you were up in Aspen and, or was it Vale?
Carbondale.
Yeah, same place.
Had a little show up there.
How'd that go?
It was good. It was only a 2-week show.
Nice.
It was great. I met a lot of awesome, small mountain town
Yeah.
folks and made some new friends and.
That's cool just to like be able to go to a place and have people appreciate what you did, and in a gallery setting too, which is so much different than like if you're hanging in a coffee shop or something like that.
Right. Yeah. It was really fun. It was great. That's the first show I've had in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's this summer and the past winter, but really a lot of chalk work.
Yeah.
And
it's like that's
mostly is for restaurants and whatnot. But,
yeah. It pays the bills to be able to
great.
for you able to.
I'm not discounting that at all. It's just.
Oh man,
it's a fun gig.
If there was something like that on comedy, I'd be all over that. What is the chalk work of? But like I love the chalk work too. I mean, it's one of those things that it's the first or second thing everybody looks at when they walk into a restaurant. It absolutely is, and it's like that's so cool to know that you have that many eyes on stuff that you do, and that's just something that you enjoy doing that other people cannot, or other people just don't understand how it's done.
Yeah, there's a little piece of paper above the chalkboard at Vine Street Pub that says, "This makes me happy," and that paper's always been there. I didn't put it there or anything, but that's what I hope that the art that's underneath that does for people.
Yeah,
they see that and say, "Yeah, this does." That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make any kind of real political statement or obscene statement with my art. It's just purely fun and about enjoying life. And
that's what it is. I feel like you can take on all the big issues and you can do everything like that, but in the end, it's just about who has the most fun.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like you can do that, but I mean, even if what are you going to take a big political message on like this at this like hippie brewery on the chalkboard? You're going to do like some big stuff like just Donald Trump's face, or it's like what do you It's like that's not where you're supposed to take that on. And plus,
I'm not that clever anyway.
No, and I feel like the opposite is so much better. I mean, just giving them happiness or giving them something that's so much more than you could do, or if you would take on something political. It's like we don't want to think about it. Let's just all be happy people and just escape.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of escapism.
It's easier. I mean, not that it's easier, but I mean that's why I feel like especially that so many people come out to comedy shows and stuff these days. Just like they just want to escape for a little bit. They just don't want to be bombarded with all these images and stuff. And that's exactly what art gives me. Whenever I go to a museum, I'm escaping for a little bit and just kind of being able to explore and just wander around and just look at art.
Yeah, it's very meditative. Like to look at art, to make art, to be around it. It just I think it calms us down and makes us feel, for the most part, makes us feel pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it does. I mean,
Sometimes
even
you
making it
gotta-
for me is the best. I saw Mark Mothersbaugh. He did. He had a
Oh, that was a
retrospective.
fantastic
Did you
show.
check that out?
Fantastic show. Amazing.
I gotta see it like 3 or 4 times. It's like one of the coolest things that I've honestly ever seen in my life. And like just he did the room of postcards. They did thousands and thousands of postcards that he did every day. It was just like everything that he did. Like he just made so much material. He produced so much of this material, and it was all so good and well thought out that it was like I just couldn't believe it.
I love seeing other artists work and having it inspire me, and that was definitely one of them. I mean, I made more artwork after seeing that show than I had in a long time because I was so inspired.
Yeah, which is a different thing than going to somebody's and being like, oh, god damn it, they're so good, or like, oh, going and making stuff similar in their style too. But I mean, it's like, yeah, I think especially with art, it's more inspiration. At least it just opens you up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, inspiration definitely plays a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that go back to the point where it's like, where it's work, sometimes you're not feeling inspired, but you have to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's...
Oh, that's the thing. Sometimes you don't want that deadline. I mean, for the most part, everybody doesn't want to go to work, and it's the worst thing that they do in their world. I know whenever I talk to people, like I do, you do art full time, I do comedy at nights and stuff, and then I go home and I like talk to my friends, and they're making fantastic money, and I'm like, how's your life? And they're like, every day is the worst. It's like they're making great money, but they hate it so much.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the choice. The trade-off is the tough part.
Yeah, it's a. I know a couple of people right now who are on that turning point or on that bridge of I'm going to quit my job and start doing what I love, and
Yeah.
I'm really scared about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, good. You should be, but
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, and trust yourself enough because I
Trust
mean, you
yourself,
made that
yeah.
jump. Was it scary for you? I'm sure it was scary for you.
Yeah, and it still is. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a day that goes by that I don't doubt myself or
course.
doubt my next paycheck or
Mhm.
my next meal, for that matter. I mean, sometimes are better than others, but
Yeah.
it's always sort of an up and down. And I guess I consider myself a fledgling artist, and I feel like eventually I can figure some things out and have a more of a balance, more of a steady way to go about doing things. I still feel like I'm tripping over my feet,
Mm-hmm.
but
At least you're learning every day. You know.
it's kind of like it keeps me going in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta run to catch up so I don't fall on my face. And
Yeah.
it keeps me going.
I think that's the best, especially even, every day that you wake up, you're not, you know that there is going to be stuff that you're not going to know how to do or not be able to know, but you'll know that you'll figure it out, or it won't work out, and then that's fine too, but you at least
Right.
know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and if you never know, like something that seems like a failure one day might be completely the opposite the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of what are you going to leave behind? It's like when
Yeah.
people look back, it's like, what did he do? It's like, did he sell napkins for a restaurant company or so? It's like, or like what the product? I mean, like tangible stuff, and that's what's so cool about your art and everything. Like that's a tangible product. When you like whatever happens, like that is what you did.
Yeah, and I hope that it. I really do. I like to say that. I do art for myself, and I do. But I like making art for other people, and I like making something that somebody else might feel. If they're emotional about it in some way, bad or good. That I'd rather
Yeah.
have somebody hate something than to just be like, meh, I don't know about this.
If they hate it so much, you're doing something different or right at least.
Yeah.
I mean, and who's that person? What is their? That's insane. Just to invoke emotion
Right.
is the goal, really.
Yeah, exactly. And I love being able to create something that brings happiness to somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's sort of, I don't know, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. No, that's all it is. And I mean, I think where I'm in, I consider the same thing with comedy. Like, well, I do comedy, but I'm in the business of making people happy too. It's like if you don't think in some terms in your mind, what will people think of this? I mean, I feel like you're doing it the wrong way. Because I mean, there's not that you're catering towards anything, but what is this going to be appreciated by the person that is the smartest person in the world, all the way down into the dumbest people in the world? Like, you have to at least be thinking about that a little bit while you're making it, or you're not going to be receptive to a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, like that's. So we're getting down to the base bones of this thing. I guess is there any final words you want to leave on to people out there that are looking to do what you want to do and don't know how to do it? Do you have any words of advice to these young struggling artists out there?
I mean, I think the best advice that I receive and keep receiving, and I need to receive it, is that it's just to keep working. Just work really hard, make art all the time.
So just material generation, just like pushing it out.
Just make stuff. Just make stuff with your hands, and of course there's the business side of it. If you're looking to be more lucrative with it, there's a lot of books out there. I don't know any offhand, but the business of art or whatever. These books are out there, and they're actually great tools for anybody that's. I'm still reading some.
Heck yeah. No, that's the hardest part. Especially, I mean, I went to school for business management, but I mean that's my hardest part too. Is all the business side. The business side, when you do something creative, is difficult.
Yeah.
But, even
as far as getting yourself out there and getting it all together, go to art shows. That's a great way to go to openings and support artists locally and internationally. And these are things that I really like to try and do, and they have helped me. So
heck yeah, no, that's awesome. Those are good words of advice, everybody. So all you young artists out there, you listen to those and know. Those are free, y'all. This is a free podcast. We're going to charge for this thing. We could charge for that. We could put that in a book or something. We could charge for that. I want to thank everybody out there for listening. You can follow us online at Words with Wayman on Twitter and Words with Wayman on Facebook. But most of all, I want to thank Tony Z for coming out and doing my podcast.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a real pleasure.
I'm glad we could do this. Yeah. He's a sweet boy, everybody. Check him out. Tim Fizz on Instagram. Thank you all so much for listening again, and we will see you all soon.